Welcome and very happy Mother's Day here on Sunday. A couple of short items, but one in particular that I had to joke about the other day. I joked to myself actually, but uh, worth repeating to you. So they're doing on the Giants. They call it the talk back. That's the situation where the KNBR broadcaster, talk show host, they do what's called a talk back, and they talk to the play-by-play broadcasters for the Giants, and it's kind of a pre-game sort of a ritual on every game. It's part of the pre-game package. So the other day, I'm listening, some of you too, uh, and I believe it was Tom Tolbert, and they were talking to, or he was talking to Dave Flemming, one of the Giants play-by-play guys, and he goes, "Boy, aren't you aren't you lucky you got to work in Denver at the Colorado series?" And Dave Fleming joked. He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Some of us have some really good schedules. Some of us have these times when we tell the boss we're a little tired and we can't work certain games, or in this case, cities." And without saying it, Dave Fleming took a very, very not so subtle dig at John Miller, who's the lead play-by-play radio broadcaster for the Giants, who, and I've pointed this out many a times, and it's a little jovial and giggly and all that and spirit, but believe me, there's a lot there's a lot of tension there, if you will. What Miller was referring to is the fact that John Miller now has a very, very, very select schedule. And he's told Larry Bear and company and all the broadcast people in charge of the Giants broadcast that he can only work a certain amount of games because he's kind of tired. Okay, that sounds reasonable, logical. Only, curiously, Miller was not so tired when he wanted to work Boston, right? The Boston series a couple of weeks ago, or actually it was last weekend. And he so Miller chose to go to Boston. And he then was not tired enough to go to Philadelphia. And he worked the majority of the Philly games last weekend. Then he became tired. Then he chose, and this was pre-scheduled, predetermined, he chose to fly back to the Bay Area, did not work the series in Colorado, conveniently became very tired. So he didn't work Colorado. Last year, if you remember, he was not tired enough to work and go on the trip to Mexico City, where the Giants played last year. If you remember, it was about a year ago, where they played a season series over a weekend in Mexico City. Chose to go then, okay, but did not go on the following trip to Houston because I guess he was tired, but he wasn't tired enough to go to Houston, or excuse me, to Mexico City. And this year, I can guarantee you he's not going to be tired when they go, the Giants, to New York, to play the Mets. But then he'll be tired the following weekend, probably, or before that, Pittsburgh. So, what is this all about? This is all about the fact that a few people, namely Dave Fleming himself, who takes off time at the beginning of the season in April to cover his ESPN duties, the Masters, college basketball, etc. Okay, but at least there's an excuse there, right? Miller 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 tells all the higher ups that he only wants to work a certain amount of games, and they're going all along with it. And look, is it the worst thing in the world? No. Uh, I would, as a Giants fan told me he gets a little irritated every now and then because Miller, and he's earned this to a degree, but it's just creates sort of a chaos for the Giants broadcast. It also cheapens the radio broadcast, and which has a direct effect on the subsequent television broadcast because Flemming works some of the cable games. And when he does that, which he has to do on the road quite a bit because Kruko, Mike, and Kuiper, Dwayne, do not travel with the team on road games. At least Kruko doesn't. Kuiper mostly doesn't. He's going to make, again, a convenient trip to Cleveland because he played a lot of his career in Cleveland, when he was a ball player. So, but all of this has a ripple effect on the overall Giants broadcast, both on radio and television. Radio, when Miller doesn't work, then they have to bring in the D-listers, Joe Rizzo, who's vanilla and boring and bland, and pompous, not very talented, very less than mediocre FP Santangelo, who can't shut up. And when he does shut up, should be saying something, but chooses to inflict the Bay Area with his personality and what he considers his own sense of humor. And read the comments here, go on these message boards, type in FP Santangelo, and you'll get what most of the public here thinks of FP Santangelo, notably Giants fans in any event. So it's Mother's Day. I'm going to have maybe I'll see how I feel. I'm going to talk about mom. And I wish all of you folks out there, including you mothers and fathers. I know there's a Father's Day, but come on, it's corny. Let's face it. Every day should be Mother's Day, right? Every day should be Father's Day. The restaurants today. Oh God, you want to talk about? That's the only good thing about not having mom is I don't have to worry about schlepping over to a coffee shop or some nice place to go get her the $5,000 eggs Benedict and all that. Okay, so have a great day, you and your mothers, if you're lucky enough, and we'll see you later.